Alright, let's do this one last time. My name is Drew Dodger, and for the last couple months, I've been doing a podcast with my good buddy, Jacob Herron. While we love film in general, with us being artists and all, we have a fascination with animation, and we decided to start an audio podcast after we both geeked out over the animated Transformers movie. We're not perfect, we've gotten names wrong, and we don't always agree on movies. But at the end of the day, we try to bring an informative and entertaining show to you all, and we'd like to welcome you to The Cellcast. Hello and welcome to another episode of The Cellcast. Joining me this evening, morning, afternoon, whatever time of day you listen to us, is a man who kind of just likes looking forward into the future. Welcome, Jacob.
Why, thank you. I'd like to introduce our co-host, a man who can't wait to read a certain hedgehoggy movie. Welcome, Drew.
Okay, now hang on. I'm not against Sonic the Hedgehog.
I didn't say you weren't.
I'm going in with low expectations. Because if it's a decent adaptation of the games, it's not going to be great.
Yeah.
But anyway, how are you doing today, Jacob?
I'm doing pretty well. It's been a very interesting 2 days since we're recording on Tuesday. I got off work, and then I had a mutual friend of ours, Wendy, asked me to put a cabinet together or something like that. Mm-hmm. And that was an adventure by itself. Finally got it done. Had to remove the doors up and down. Mm-hmm. That was interesting to say the least. And so she paid me very generously to do that, and I was like, "Well, thank you." And I got to work, and work goes to work. Mm-hmm. And so I walk down to the bank because it's just right down the street where I work. And so I walk down there, deposit a check, go to a antique shop where I find a certain movie I've been looking for on VHS, the original cover. I actually found it
in town,
actually, for $30.
And that movie is
The Little Mermaid, the original cover,
the one that's got the
yes,
okay,
yes. It's so be like it's okay. I've got rent, so let's not do that. So I'm coming back.
You're going to go back and it's going to be gone.
Yeah, either way. So I'm coming back, and I run into an old classmate of mine from high school. And he's like, "Hey, do you get some money before I can get some food?" I was like, "Yeah, sure." So we walk back up to the work and be like, I pay for his meal and just go back to work. Mm-hmm. And it's not in the fact that I'm trying to boast, be like, "Oh, look at me, what I did." But it's more along the lines of that. It's something that I'm trying to think of it.
I have faith you'll think of the word.
Yeah.
Because I certainly have no idea.
Yeah. Well, this section might be a little edited down. So be like, I want to pay him for the guy's food, and so it was giving something that someone else had given me, so I was blessing someone else with.
You were paying it forward?
Yeah, basically I was paying it forward. And I know that's what, as a Christian is to, give to the poor, give to the needy, and to give to those that are less fortunate. And I know the young man, I'm not going to give his name, but he was a pretty good, not very good situation at the moment. Mm-hmm. So hopefully that made his day better. Either way.
All right.
I got home and spent 35 minutes trying to cook chili, and not exactly the either way. So
I suggested, instead of using a toaster oven, a microwave?
Yes, for next time. Yes. Yeah, good suggestion. We'll take it into high consideration next time.
All right.
So how's your week been, Drew?
Oh, it's been a week. I worked some overtime on Saturday. I sat bored at watching the Super Bowl. Because I'm not a sports person.
Oh, that was so much fun.
For you?
Yes.
You weren't. Well, you were with a bunch of people I would have loved to hang out with, but no one invited me. I mean, I'm joking. I didn't hear anything, but I don't hold any grudges.
Yeah.
But I was with the singles and the over 55 crowd at the church. Yeah. And yeah, you know how that can go sometimes, especially when you really don't care that much about football.
Yes.
But anyway.
Yeah. The one funny part, it wasn't funny, it was aggravating, definitely to John and his family. So
halftime?
No, it wasn't halftime. The internet crashed.
Oh.
Yeah, so we're like partway through the first quarter of the game, or the first quarter, and the internet just goes click, turns off.
So no game.
No signal. No signal for like
that's
5 or 6 minutes.
That's the bad part about internet is you should always have an antenna backup if you have if you're doing the internet route.
Yes, I would agree with you.
Especially on the most anticipated game of the year.
Yes, I agree. But yeah, it was a very fun, festive, and very interesting when you're a room full of musicians and a tech. Mm-hmm. Because the halftime show was, this, and this, and this, and this, and this, and this. Okay. And then the game, because how it was being broadcast, it was being oversaturated.
Yeah, it's Fox.
Yeah. And
specifically, Fox 51 and Longview, they oversaturate everything. Yeah.
So our amazing tech at our church, Travis, was complaining the entire time, be like, it's oversaturated. The Chiefs jerseys look pink. And it was just running commentary the entire time. It was great. So yeah, that was a fun time, a fun fellowship, and just overall just a goofy couple of hours. Mm-hmm. All right. So yeah, Super Bowl happened.
And boy, was it boring for me anyway.
To each your own.
Yeah, I played a couple games of Skip-Bo. Not very good games of Skip-Bo. I'll put it this way. There was one game I couldn't get any of my main deck played. So yeah, there was that. And then, pretty much nothing fancy. It's just been a normal week for the most part.
I got you.
Glad the Super Bowl's over, so I no longer have to hear about it for another year. But anyway.
Yeah.
So what have you been watching besides the Super Bowl?
Besides Super Bowl. Well, I've continued trying to complete Mobile Suit Gundam 83 Stardust Memory. That's a long title.
Not as long as some.
Not as long as some, but it's close. And so I'm watching this via YouTube. And for some reason, they've got most of that series up, minus a few episodes. And so those episodes have been someone has come in and put them on there, but they've cropped them and sped the sound up.
Yeah, so because they're not the official stream, so they're having to do that so the algorithm doesn't catch them.
Yeah,
which is always annoying. But anyway,
yeah, it's a great.
And I would be willing to guess the videos you had are not the official streams either.
No, they're not.
So yeah, be aware you can pirate a little bit on YouTube.
Yeah, a little bit. So yeah, that's basically what I've been watching. What have you been watching?
Not much. I'm still working my way through Clone Wars. Oh yes, I had to stop and think. So I'm a big Star Trek nut, right?
Yeah.
Well, when Picard came back, I was reminded that there was a short that they had put that was kind of a prequel to what was going to happen in Picard that I didn't get around to watching.
Yeah.
So when I went back and watched that, I found another short that was animated, that was in that same group, that was actually directed by Michael Giacchino, of all people. The composer.
That's right. Yeah.
He directed one. It's on the if you're looking at CBS All Access, go under the Short Treks show. It's kind of a separate show from both Discovery and Picard.
Yeah.
And they have a short in there called Ephraim and Dot.
Okay, then.
That's the name of the characters. They are two. One is they're two, original characters for this. One is a little cleaner droid that was on the Enterprise we never actually saw. These are original characters. And the other is a tardigrade trying to lay her eggs.
Okay.
And because tardigrades happen to be able to go through time and space,
Like you do.
she ends up laying her eggs near the warp core of the original Enterprise.
Okay.
Like you meant, this is all animated.
Yeah.
So throughout the thing, there's these, like, for instance, when you first find it, you hear the voices from the episode Space Seed. So you're hearing, old Kirk, the original William Shatner and Ricardo Montalban speaking to each other.
Oh, wow.
During a scene in there. It's happening, like off screen, but you can kind of hear him. And then later on, you hear Sulu when he's under the influence of the virus that causes you to be drunk when you're not actually drunk.
Yeah.
And he's running around the Enterprise with his giant fencing foil.
Yeah.
Attacking people. You hear that bit of that speech while she's laying her eggs.
Okay. That's very interesting.
Eventually she gets knocked off the ship and she starts chasing it. Well, she can't just chase it in normal time. She ends up going forward in time. So there's lots of little Star Trek references, such as the giant hand of Apollo coming to grab the ship. A giant Abraham Lincoln in the outer space actually happened.
Okay, then.
Season 3 of Star Trek is weird. We're just going to put that out there.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden I get to thinking, well, now wait a minute. Ship blows up in Star Trek 3. So eventually you're obviously in the middle of Wrath of Khan.
Yeah.
Because they're, phasers and photon torpedoes, they're firing on the Reliant. And then they go forward in time and it's very obvious we're above the planet Genesis.
Oh, fun.
I'm going, you might want to go get your eggs.
Get out of there now.
And they get on there and you can hear the famous countdown from that movie where it's like 9, 8, and you're just waiting. You're expecting to hear Commander Krug on a comlink somewhere going, get out of there.
Yes.
But they get off. The droid is trying to keep her off the ship, is what it comes down to. The droid finally realizes why she keeps coming back to the ship, because she sees her eggs in the area around the warp core and realizes the ship's about to blow up. I can't just let those things die. So he goes and saves them, essentially.
Yeah.
And it's a great little short. It's fun. It's got lots of cool little Trek references throughout the whole thing. It's great. I highly suggest going back and looking at that. There's another animated one in there I haven't gotten around to watching yet called The Girl Who Invented the Stars. I haven't got a chance to watch yet, but it's also animated, so maybe I'll have that by next week. But yeah.
Huh. That does bring up a very interesting dilemma for our little eggling friend. As far as I understand, being a guy who loves the Trek films,
there was no tardigrade on the ship, and there was no little android.
No, because the original Enterprise was refurbished.
They do show a quick animation of the ship transforming from its TOS era Enterprise into the movie era Enterprise.
Oh, okay.
It's kind of like a water ripple effect is how they show it. The problem I had is I don't remember seeing when I say it's a spot near the warp core.
Yeah.
If you've ever seen shots of the original series, when they're in the engine room, you never actually see, the big pulsing core.
Yeah.
Like you see in all the other Star Trek stuff. All you see that's quote unquote the warp core is that little tunnel thing. It's on the back wall.
Okay.
That's where she lays the eggs, is in that tunnel thing.
Oh, okay.
But that tunnel thing, as far as I'm aware, is not in the refurbished Enterprise.
So it's kind of a dilemma.
But yet it's there when the robot goes and gets the eggs. So maybe it's just a part of the ship that we never got to see. I don't know.
Who knows?
Honestly, by that point, I was like, I know there's going to be some goofs in this. I don't care. This is fun.
Oh, okay.
It's just a fun little short. It is technically somewhat canon, but it really adds nothing to the canon. So
I gotcha.
It's just a fun show. A fun little short.
Gotcha.
So yeah.
All right. Show.
So what news do we currently have?
All right.
If we have any.
Oh, we do actually have a few.
Okay.
Speaking of the Super Bowl, we had quite a few trailer spots show up, and we had obviously SpongeBob, the movie.
Yes.
What is it called again?
Sponge on the Run.
Yeah, Sponge on the Run. We had the new Minions movie.
Minions: The Rise of Gru.
Yeah, we had that
which
one.
that full trailer is supposed to come out tomorrow, which is Wednesday because we record on Tuesday.
Yeah. And the live action Mulan. And
looks good.
Yeah, the last one was Sonic.
I am going in with low expectations to Sonic, as I said earlier.
Yes.
Because see, here's the thing. I grew up watching Sonic.
Yeah.
As
or
a
playing
kid,
Sonic.
Well, watching more first. Because
Okay, yeah. That's right.
I didn't get to play Sonic until my parents finally broke down and bought me a Genesis. But it was great in the 90s.
Yeah.
Problem is that attitude doesn't translate in the 2000s and the 2010s very well.
Yeah.
Plus, starting with Sonic Adventure, and they added voice acting, and story.
Mm-hmm.
It was never exactly, great.
True.
It was fun.
Yes.
It was kind of a turn your brain off, eat popcorn kind of a thing.
Yeah, or hot dogs.
Chili dogs, to be more specific.
Chili dogs.
But, yeah, it was just a fun... I don't expect Detective Pikachu from this.
Okay.
I'll put it that way.
Okay.
It was just a fun movie, and I enjoyed it, but it's not, like, blow your minds. It's not going to be blow your mind sort of thing. It'd be interesting to see if Jim Carrey can still pull off comedy this many years later.
Yeah, that's true.
Because I don't think he's done a comedic role in a long time.
Not in a while. But the second big case of news that I was really, when I saw it, I was like, oh my gosh, this movie won something. Claws won a BAFTA.
Thankfully.
Yeah, it won.
Deserves it.
Yeah, it won, apparently the British Academy of Film Awards gave Claws the Best Animated Feature Award, which I was kind of excited about because I really enjoyed that film. So that is all I have for the news.
Okay. So, last week, we, of course, were celebrating our 1 year anniversary when we realized, after the recording was finished, we didn't do any of the 1 year anniversary things.
No, we didn't.
We talked about it, and we thought, we'll just do this later on and then get into Roger Rabbit. And then we finished our review of Roger Rabbit. I went home. We met at the church for dinner the next night. Says, hey, we didn't record any of that extra fun stuff.
We didn't.
So we're going to kind of do some of that here.
Yeah.
So, since we don't actually have a review this week.
True.
So, why don't you start us off?
Well, what we're doing, we're going to give the episodes in which we recorded, which we loved, and just kind of reminisce about the first year of doing the Cellcast. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to go first, and it's going to be one of those episode 9, the Transformers, the movie.
Oh, that was a fun one.
That was fun. The fact that we, like you hear in the intro, it was actually the movie that kind of cemented us as, going into this venture of doing a podcast together.
Yeah.
Of going to see this movie in the theater at a what review?
It was in Tyler, AMC Tyler?
Yeah, AMC Tyler, whichever. Yeah, and just I
still think of it as Carmike, to be honest.
Yes.
But it's not Carmike anymore.
No, but at the same time, it was just this amazing... The movie is incredible. The movie's incredible. I remember as a child. And if you haven't listened to the episode, go listen to it. It's a really good episode.
Yeah.
And it's one of those that cemented what this podcast was to become. Mm-hmm. And I just threw that in there as just because. What's yours? What's one of yours?
One of mine is Spider-Man Enter the Spider-Verse.
Of course.
I was, from as much as Transformers was the decision making to do this.
Yes.
Spider-Man was the first one I was excited to do a review over.
Yeah.
Once we saw the movie.
Yeah. Because
it's like, A, the movie is amazing.
I completely agree with you on that.
And B, I knew you would love the animation. I completely forgot
I was going to bring it up.
Suffer sometimes from epilepsy.
Yes.
And I remembered to tell you this as the worst moment of that was going on screen.
It's like, why didn't you tell me about this?
I forgot the logos were that bad. I am so sorry.
I'm just pulling your chain, bro.
I know it. But that was just a fun episode for us to record.
It was.
It was a blast. And of course, us originally going and seeing the movie before we started the podcast. Mm-hmm. It was just a fun, great time, and we enjoyed the heck out of talking about it.
Yeah, I agree.
Plus, how much work I went into in explaining where every single Spider-Man was from. I put too much research into that episode.
Yeah, can't you tell it's like one of his favorite animated films ever?
It was great. I'm looking forward to more sequels.
I agree.
They need to put more out now. But anyway, don't rush it, Sony. Do it right. Don't rush it.
Yeah. All right, so my second one would probably be one of our reaction films. It would be Frozen 2. Frozen 2, like, oh my gosh, I was so excited because this is going to be a Frozen film. Had no idea what this film was going to be about. Minus, you never watch little snippet of reviews for a movie you're about to go review.
Yeah, you never do that.
No, I made that mistake. And so
I don't watch reviews before I go to a movie, period.
Yeah. Yeah, lesson learned. And so it somewhat tainted my view on the film just a little bit, but I still enjoyed the film, even though with that, in the that poison might say in my mind of it. But I enjoyed the film. I loved it, and when we were reviewing, I couldn't hold it back anymore. I had to go into it like full force, and it was so much fun. It was a fun review, and there again, if you haven't seen, listen to our reaction review of Frozen 2, go check it out. And eventually, when Frozen 2 does come out, we will do a full deep dive of this film.
More than likely.
Yeah, more likely. So what is yours? Number 2.
My number 2 just left my brain. Okay, yeah, my number 2 is probably going to be Big Hero 6.
Oh, okay.
Because you still got a little bit of that. I did way too much research into this.
Yes.
On one thing, and the second one is I just love that movie.
Yeah.
And it was nice just kind of going into it and talking about, the different parts of that movie. And especially when we were talking about our favorite Stan Lee cameos. I believe that's the one we did that on.
Yes, it was.
Although we could have done that on Spider-Man too.
We could have. Yeah, he was in that one.
And that was the last one he got to do.
Yes.
So, but yeah, that was just such a fun episode to record and talk about.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
All right, so my number 3 would be actually episode 42, American Tail.
One of our most popular recent episodes,
yes,
actually.
Yes.
It's not our most popular,
no. But... Yeah. So what is our most popular episode?
Well, hang on. Let me bring that list up right quick, because I'll just read off our current top 10 downloads.
Okay. So kind of give our audience kind of
for those who are curious, also give you an idea as to how we badly need more people to listen to the show.
It'll come.
I know it. I'm just impatient.
Yes.
And plus, I'm probably going to read a lot of this, and people who've been podcasting for years says, gee, 1 year we weren't anywhere. But, anyway. Okay, so our most downloaded episode after a year is still Frozen, the Icebreaker. Our second and that's at 44 total downloads.
Yeah.
Second one, Scooby-Doo on Zombie Island. It's terror time again. At 40 downloads. At number 3, Anastasia. Dead. All the Romanovs are dead. They're dead. At 35 reviews. And I just closed the stupid thing. Hang on. Oh, no, I just need to go down. Okay. At number 4, we have Tangled. Frying Pans. Who knew?
Right?
And that's at 26 downloads.
That'd be our second episode.
Yeah, and then we have The Transformers the Movie, bad comedy at 25 episodes. Then we have Spider-Man Enter the Spider-Verse. It always fits, eventually, at 25. Then we have The Girl Who Leapt Through Time. Go upstairs and look at the stupid picture. And that's at 24.
Wow.
And then at number 8, we've got Hotel Transylvania. I do not say blah, blah, blah. And that's at 24 also.
Yeah.
And then we've got the Lego Movie, Spaceship. And that's at 21. And last but not least, How to Train Your Dragon. Thanks for nothing, you useless reptile. And that's also at 21 downloads. So yeah, that's currently how we're looking at the moment.
Okay, so how many do we have downloads altogether?
We just... Hang on. As of this recording, we have 702 total downloads.
Wow, that's insane.
And we have had 80 in just the last 30 days.
Wow.
I say that because last week, when we recorded Roger Rabbit, when I looked at it, we had breached 100 downloads for the first time in 30 days.
Wow. That's amazing.
Yeah, so I'm just impatient. I'll admit this.
I understand.
I want it to be better. I want the stats to look better, but...
Yeah,
it is what it is.
But at the same time, be like, you know, to our audience, those who listen to us.
Yes, and we do appreciate every single download.
Yes, agreed.
Including the ones you downloaded, deleted, and then re-downloaded.
Yes. Yeah, so yeah, you know, there again, thank you so much for spending your time or spending those hours listening to us rant and rave or
going
geek
through
out.
Our horrible audio quality there at the beginning.
Yes.
When I was still trying to figure out, okay, how do I do this correctly?
Yeah.
And thankfully, even since then, we've gotten even better audio setup just this year.
Yeah, just for our audience.
When we started off, we just had 2 blue snowballs.
Yes.
Which are not bad little mics, but they're different.
Yeah, they are.
We get a lot of noise. We had a lot of noise on there, and you can probably hear some of that because I'm sure the noise reduction didn't get all of it. And plus, we kept getting digital interference, as I'm sure you can hear in a lot of those episodes.
Yeah, we didn't understand. Be like, oh, put your phone on airplane mode.
Well, there was a couple of those where it's like, okay, we're looking through the IMDb list as we're doing this because we didn't do any pre-research.
No, we didn't. We
just was going through, oh, it's this guy. And what was he on? Oh, yeah, he was on this other thing. In the meantime, in the recording, you got over all of that. That's part of the reason why in May, there are 3 missing episodes that we re-recorded.
Yes, I agree.
Because we tried something to fix it.
Yeah.
It didn't fix it, and it actually made the audio quality worse.
That is true.
So that's why we had that gap back in May or June.
Yeah.
And then had to re-record everything.
Oh, yeah.
Which is probably what hurt us the most when it came to downloads, because we had a month where we didn't have anything.
Yeah.
Now, at the same time, we did have we did post one of the famous...
Yes! I was going to bring that up.
Moments.
Yes.
In there where we posted, meanwhile, at Castle
Grayskull. I love that. That is so good.
That was the goofiest I think we'd been up to that point.
Yes, I would
probably
agree.
the goofiest we've been since then.
Probably.
We've kind of gotten all business in the recording since then.
Yeah, a little bit.
That was, admittedly, when we did that was back when I was deleting anything that was not directly connected to the episode, and I was reducing the episode from like 3 hours down to an hour and a half.
Yes.
I don't have to do that anymore.
True.
For the most part, we're right on, and I've just kind of adopted a live to hard drive mentality.
True.
So sometimes you hear our mistakes and they stay in.
Yeah, that is true. For reference to our audience, be like from episode 1 to our current episode, be like, how long did it take you those first few episodes?
That first episode took 3 weeks for me to get download because I was going in there. Going second by second.
Yeah.
Trying to get it. And you can hear somewhat that I kind of didn't get it quite right.
Yeah.
Because there are moments where we talk, the cadence of our speeches is kind of odd in that first episode.
Yeah.
You can hear me do that again sometime August. I don't remember which episode it was when I first found the truncate silence button in on Audacity, and I put it down to a half a second. It was reducing all gaps longer than half a second to half a second.
Mm-hmm.
So we all sound a little hyper, more hyper than normal.
Yes.
I've since fixed that, although I do use the half second for some things, just not often.
I got you.
When there's a couple times when we're just going, was it this thing? Was this thing? We're kind of not sure. So it's like, well, if I speed that up a little bit, it actually sounds like we know what we're talking about.
And then there's the, like, how long it takes you to do editing.
For a normal episode?
Yeah.
Less than an hour.
Okay.
Now, that does mean I am not listening to the whole episode because the episode raw is an hour and a half.
Right.
So, yeah. If I've missed something, congratulations. You found an example of my laziness. Because like I said, I'm doing live to hard drive. I literally am checking the beginning because that's usually where we're not quite in the groove yet.
Yes.
And it takes us a little bit, especially trying to come up with our stupid little pun to introduce each other.
Oh, yeah.
That can take a little bit of time.
Sometimes, yes.
And, but yeah.
All right, good deal. So,
we were in the middle of, you had just said your number 3, I think.
yes, I was in the middle of number 3.
Yes.
To go back to that, it was episode 42, American Tail, and that was just a fun episode. There again, it was one of those movies that I watched as a kid.
Yeah.
And
that was also the first time I did what I'm jokingly calling the rant synopsis.
Oh,
I kind of go crazy going through this stupid rant on what happens in the movie.
Yes, I agree. It was a lot of fun. It was very entertaining.
I don't think I've gotten any better than the better one is actually Land Before Time.
Oh, okay.
I think I did a better rant synopsis
yes,
on that one.
Yes, you did. And the fact that
mostly because I got you laughing so hard you couldn't think.
Yes, that is right. I totally forgot about that.
Anyway, sorry. I keep interrupting.
No, you.
And I've said that a lot in this show.
Yes, you have. It's and I'm so thankful we actually went to more like a structured, our likes and dislikes.
Those first couple months where we were just rambling, essentially.
Yes.
And I think it was actually Spider-Man that got us
to
decide, okay, we actually need to structure the review.
Yes.
Because that review, I think, is 2 hours long.
Yeah.
The entire episode.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's too long an episode.
Yes.
Because I can't, honestly, I have to worry about you, our listeners, to some degree. Because you listen to us yammer on for an hour and a half. And I think that's about as much as you can listen to us yammer on.
Yes, but we deeply appreciate you listening to us.
We do appreciate it, but to some degree I go, what is wrong with these people? And I mean that in the best possible way.
Yes.
I'm being sarcastic, mostly.
Anyway. All right, so what is your number 3?
My number 3. My number 3 is probably going to be the Weathering with You reactions.
Oh, yes.
Yes. That was such an amazing movie.
Agreed.
And it was just such a good. I'm almost recreating how I was talking during that when we came out of that episode. And that movie was so good, I barely could talk.
Yeah,
because so much was coming to my mind at the same time, and of course the motorcycle gang right outside of the door, revving their engines every 5 minutes. It wasn't helping.
Technically, they were cars, but still,
it was cars. But at the same time, I kept thinking, do we need to move?
We're gonna get run over.
Yeah, but that was a fun episode to talk. And it was the first time we had tried it with a pocket recorder.
Yeah.
So it was just such a fun movie.
Yeah,
and I think we had a good time talking about it before and after.
We did.
So yeah,
and it's a lot of it's more thinking on your feet and not just the general reaction and trying not to stumble over yourself over and over and over again. But unlike here in the quote unquote studio, it was a lot more loose. It was a lot more loose of a recording, and it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun, very entertaining, and a lot of laughs.
Almost, I was afraid the entire time This is not going to sound good.
Yeah,
because I've heard the recordings off this recorder before, but at the same time going, we're not exactly going to be right up on it.
Yeah.
It's going to be, the microphone is centered between us. Is it going to work in the truck? And are people going to think bad thoughts with the windshield fogging over?
Oh, gosh.
It was cold that night.
Oh, yes, it was.
I did not turn the car on because I didn't want noise.
Yeah, that would have looked really, really bad.
Yeah. We're both not of that persuasion,
Yes, yes. Both very straight males.
Yes, very much so. So, yeah, that's my number 3.
Okay,
Or is that
cool.
3?
Yeah,
Yeah, 3.
That was 3.
So what's your number 4?
I didn't write one.
Oh.
That's just 3.
Okay, then. What else we got before we move on to talking about other things?
I think that's it.
Okay. So, fun fact. We break the follow-up before we edit it into 2 separate sections.
Yes.
Which we're about to do right now. So when we come back, while you won't be able to hear a difference because I won't be doing my now famous listener discretion is advised thing,
Yeah.
we'll technically be on another recording. So we'll see you on the other side.
Welcome back.
Welcome back. Now that we've come back from our break, that for you was like nothing. Jacob, what are the upcoming movies that we will be talking about over the course of the... Or maybe not over the course... We won't be talking about them necessarily unless they're amazing and we decide to do a reaction to it.
Yeah.
But what movies are coming out this year, especially in the next 6 months?
Okay. So,
and by 6 months, I mean January going forward.
Yeah.
We're doing this a little late.
We're doing it a little late, but either way. So the first movie that's coming up will be February 14th. Will be Sonic the Hedgehog.
Which we haven't decided if we're reacting to or not yet. I think we're leaning that way.
Yeah, I think we're leaning towards that.
But you'll also get to hear our review over on the other podcast that we do with your brother over at Movie of the Week podcast.
Yes.
Because we're going to try and get that out, like, the Wednesday after?
Something like that.
Comes out. So, yeah. I'm going in with low expectations, as I've said a couple times.
Yes.
It'll be interesting.
Yeah.
All I know is if at some point I don't hear Escape from the City, I'm going to be disappointed.
Drew might walk out.
No, I won't walk out, but I'll be disappointed.
All right.
It may come up on a reaction thing, but anyway.
Yeah. So the second movie to come up will be on March the 6th. Will be Disney Pixar's Onward.
That one looks really, really good.
Yes.
I'm looking forward to that one. I just love the concept of just the setting, first off.
Yes.
A fantasy world that has advanced to our level of technology.
Yes.
I love this concept.
And it's a road trip.
And it's a road trip, yes. And it's Tom Holland and Chris Pratt.
Yes.
If that's not reason enough to go watch a movie.
Yes.
The fact that it's also Pixar, who even their weakest movies are still good.
Yeah, I would agree with you.
Although I still have not watched Cars 3 yet. But anyway.
Me either. I haven't seen Cars 2 yet.
I watched Cars 2 against my will. Well, it was one of those that got played on the TVs at Walmart and stuff.
Oh, understand.
So I'm not even 100% sure what was going on because I just got bits and pieces because I wasn't stopping to watch.
All right.
But anyway.
So
that one looks so good. What do you think about it?
I'm looking forward to it. I kind of described it, like you said, kind of like a fantasy road trip of two brothers trying to bring their father back.
No, half their father.
Or half their father. Trying to be the other half back. And it looks like a fun movie. It looks like a fun little ride that is going to be truly entertaining.
And it looks like we're going to have another journey on top of that with the mother coming after them.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
So, yeah.
It definitely looks interesting, and I'm looking forward to it.
I agreed.
And we might do a reaction to that. Maybe not. All right. So number 3 would be coming out on May 15th, and that'd be Scoob.
Definitely a reaction on that one.
Yeah.
More than likely.
Yes.
That one does look fun, too.
It does.
admittedly, I'm usually hesitant about a Scooby-Doo movie because some of the Scooby-Doo movies that have come out are like the new Tom and Jerry movies. They look like cash-ins.
Yeah.
But this actually looks like someone who actually gives a care about the franchise is actually doing it. So maybe we'll have a return to, or even a surpassing of Zombie Island in terms of quality.
Maybe. I kind of describe it as it's obviously it's a Scooby-Doo origin movie, and I really enjoyed the trailer where you actually meet Scooby for the first time and Shaggy, and
he actually looks like a pup named Scooby-Doo.
He does,
which I should hate.
Yes,
I hate a pup named Scooby-Doo. It's like continuity. Thank you.
Yes, and what I'm understanding about this movie, it looks like they're going to do more of a Hanna-Barbera universe.
That would be cool.
Yeah, because Scooby and Shaggy wind up on a spaceship, and apparently I can't remember what character from the Hanna-Barbera universe, but apparently this is a ship. So,
describe them because I don't think I've seen this.
Blue and I'd be like it's not important in a second.
Oh, now I'm curious.
Okay, then
it's like I know some of the Hanna-Barbera stuff.
It's Blue. It's an F, I believe.
Blue with an F?
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll figure it out later. All right. So
I was thinking maybe Kazoo because that was how you might get in the Flintstones. But hey,
yeah. Either way. Have
Tom and Jerry run through, and then it'll be really Hanna-Barbera.
Yeah, literally.
That's the one that usually gets left out because it gets lumped in with the Looney Tunes. Not that I don't like the Looney Tunes, but anyway.
All right. So at number 4. Coming in on April 12th will be Trolls 2 World Tour by DreamWorks.
I still haven't seen Trolls 1.
I saw maybe like the first 10-15 minutes of this film, the first one, and
we may have to jump that one in before that.
Possibly.
Hey, we're not going to do a full review of it, but that would be a decent excuse for me to see the movie if we had to record an episode over it.
That is true. All right. So coming in at 5, which will be out in theaters. Oh, I've got this all mixed up. Either way.
Yeah, you had it mixed up and last too, but it's fine.
I did. Either way. Yeah, this one comes out May 22nd, which is SpongeBob movie, Sponge Out of Water.
If it's like the first SpongeBob movie, I will be fine. If it's like the second, which it's probably going to be, we can skip it.
Okay.
I haven't really been happy with SpongeBob since the first movie.
Okay. Well,
but you've never watched SpongeBob.
No, I haven't. I've seen very little of SpongeBob. So, yeah, it'll probably get skipped either way.
I'll go see it because I at least know half the characters. But
I gotcha.
You've got the voice of Lex Luthor from the animated series as Mr. Krabs.
Oh, okay. Interesting. Yeah,
you'll never get that out of your head now.
Oh gosh. Either way, I think at some point we'll probably want it reviewing these films at some point. Ever since we are an animation podcast.
Yeah. Eventually, we're going to run out of the good stuff.
Yes, we will.
And we'll have to trash stuff.
Oh, that'll be fun. All right. So, I don't want to say speaking of trash, but so at our sixth slot.
What movie is this?
Coming in July 2nd, July 3rd, which is Minions: Rise of Gru.
Okay, now the Despicable Me and Extended Universe franchise is not my favorite.
Yeah.
But at least in the moment, the movies are usually fine.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of thought that goes into it.
Oh, yeah.
Even Minions 1 is not horrendous. It's not very good.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
It's a fun... It's not... Don't get me wrong. It's not a badly made movie.
Yeah.
It's based on let's have a bunch of yellow corn puffs make fart jokes and go to horrible sizes. But at the same time, it does actually... There is continuity.
Right.
And this is going to be more continuity, bringing it up. But at the same time, it's like, well, what I really like about Despicable Me is not the Minions and not Gru. It's the three sisters.
True.
Those are the funny characters. I mean, let's face it, the funniest point in the first Despicable Me movie is, it's so fluffy, I'm gonna die!
Yes. I actually watched that one in the theaters with a date, and yeah, I loved it. Apparently, she completely forgot about it. Like, when she got with her new boyfriend, now her husband, I asked her one day, be like, so do you remember that movie? And it's like, oh, that was my in-between time. It's like, thanks, you completely forgot about me. Thank you. Either way. Anyways, so yeah, we will eventually get around to the Despicable Me and Group.
Yeah, we'll get to the Grooniverse eventually.
Yeah, eventually.
And if that's not what it's called, that's what we're calling it from now on.
Yeah.
The Grooniverse.
Grooniverse. So, coming in at number 7, which will be released on June 19th, will be Soul by Pixar Disney.
This looks good, too.
It does.
What I love from the trailer, I saw, what was it, back in September?
Yeah.
When it came out? I love how there's two distinctive art styles.
Yeah.
Between the real world and the spirit world, for lack of a better term. It just looks like it's going to be a good one. I still know virtually nothing about the story other than music is involved.
Yeah.
Which y'all know how I felt about the last big music episode.
Yeah.
Coco. So I'm sure and that was also Pixar. So I'm sure this is going to be just as good.
Yeah. As far as I understand, it's a middle school musician teacher. Apparently he falls down a manhole and dies, but his lifelong goal is to play in a jazz musician at a certain hall. I can't remember. And so he's determined to do that even in the afterlife. And so it should be very interesting.
Yeah.
So I think that's the movies are coming out so far within that 6-month gap.
Mm-hmm.
Now, mind you, there are a few films that are coming out in the Japanese market with Evangelion
3.0 plus 1.0.
Yes, that's coming out, and I think there's another one coming out.
We won't get to see that one probably for another 6 months to a year, probably.
Yeah, exactly.
And then there's a couple of other ones, like I know Made in Abyss has a animated movie, but I've not watched the show, which apparently that makes me a horrible person. And then I know there's a couple other ones. There's a new Digimon Adventure movie that's completely separate from Tri.
Yeah.
That looks interesting.
Yeah, it's more them grown up. I think it's tied in with Tri, I believe.
Yeah, well, it's all part of the same overall story, but it's not the same story as the Tri series.
Yeah, I was actually thinking about this because somebody would be like, "Oh, Pokemon's the best," and be like, "Okay, at least Ty grows up.
At least the Digimon characters age."
Yes, and they actually. Now, as far as I understand, Ash just finally won a badge or won a gym or something like that. As far as I understand,
he's just finally got his first Pokemon badge. Is that what?
No, I'm talking about like he actually won a gym or something.
No. Let me explain. Let me explain what you just said without realizing it. You said Ash was so horrible a Pokemon trainer, he never did what every person who's ever played a Pokemon game has done the first day.
Pretty much.
He's not that bad a trainer. No, he just finally won a Pokemon League.
Jeez.
And it was the Alola region, which in the games doesn't have a league.
So they gave him the win.
Pretty much. I don't know. I didn't watch the show because I've not kept up with the show since the original Indigo League show set. So I don't know a ton of and I know there's not much backstory, but I haven't kept up with it. So it's like, I'm not jumping in now.
Oh, okay.
So yeah,
I think I've seen Pokemon the movie, the first one.
Yeah.
We will want to probably be reviewing the movie that's now on Netflix eventually.
It's the same movie.
Yeah, it's the same movie, just done in
3D.
So we will wind up be like these movies. Will eventually either we'll do a reaction review of that, or when it comes to Blu-ray, DVD, or digital, we'll want to watching the film.
And we are actually talking about doing Detective Pikachu at some point.
Yes.
I'm not sure when, but we are talking about it.
It'll come up in the dice.
Yeah. I It'll probably be me who puts it on the list, and
Yeah.
and there's some stuff I want to do before that. So, yeah.
So yeah, look forward to the next, be like for the movies that are coming out within the 6 months, and then we'll get back to what's coming out in the latter part of the year.
Yeah.
With
Probably, I'm guessing, around August.
around August.
So, yeah. So, we should move into what our next movie is.
Yes. Now, mind you, we have enrolled since when?
This episode before. Well, the last episode we rolled on was Final Fantasy: The Spirits Within.
Yes.
Which was the last episode in September.
Mm-hmm.
So it has been a while.
Yes, it has.
We have literally done, counting our we've literally done 16 movies.
Wow.
Since we stopped the rolls.
All right.
So we're coming back just because, honestly, this is the easiest way for us to pick up. We probably won't go back to theming months again until October.
Yeah.
When we get back to Halloween.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So at the moment, Jacob's choices are on numbers 2, 3, and 4.
Mm-hmm.
And my choices are on 1, 5, and 6. However, because of where we stopped, one of our movies had to grow to fill in the thing because it was on the list for 6 episodes.
Yes.
If y'all remember that. So right now, at number 1 and at number 4, this is technically your pick.
Yeah.
Batman: Mask of the Phantasm.
Yes.
Number 2, we've got Kung Fu Panda.
Mm-hmm.
Number 3, Oliver and Company.
Mm-hmm.
Number 5, The Good Dinosaur. And number 6, Animaniacs: Wacko's Wish.
All right.
And because the last movie that we rolled for was my win, being Final Fantasy: The Spirits Within,
Yes.
Jacob gets to roll. Hang on. 6. Our next week's episode is Animaniacs: Wacko's Wish. That's going to be a fun episode. So, you don't do that part anymore.
No.
So I guess that's going to finish us up for today because we did not have anything to read off of Facebook.
No.
So this has been Drew.
This is Jacob.
And we will catch you in the next frame. So where can they find you, Jacob?
They can find me on Facebook at Jacob B. Heron and Jacob's Daily Art Corner, my personal art Facebook page. On Twitter at Jacob B. Heron. On Instagram at Jacob B. Heron. And on Letterboxd at Jacob Heron. Where can they find you, Drew?
You can find me on Facebook at Drew Dodgen. You can also find my Facebook page at Drew's Photo Bin, where I upload my photography. You can also follow me on Letterboxd at GGeorge759 and Twitter at GGeorge759. Where can they find us, Jacob?
You can also visit our website, thecellcast.podbean.com, where you will find every episode we released and links to listen to it on Apple Podcasts, Google Play, and Stitcher. Our RSS feed, if we aren't in your favorite podcast app directory, please share, review, and subscribe to us there and share us with your friends.
You will also find a link to our Facebook group, the Double Feature Podcast Community, where we talk about both animated and live-action movies. We share this with our other podcasts, which we do with Jacob's brother Jim, at the Movie of the Week podcast, where we talk about live-action movies. You can also email us at thecellcastpodcast@gmail.com. Also, please like our page on Facebook. We try to post about upcoming movies. If you comment on that movie's post before we record, we'll read your comments in the episode. And remember, every time we say The Cellcast, that is with a single L.
Next time on
And the town waited for Wacko's return. They waited through the winter, they waited through the spring, they waited through the summer, and they waited through the fall. And by the following winter, they were still waiting, when a young mouse's fancy turned to romance.
Oh, Farfig Newton, wherefore art thou, Farfig Newton? Oh, therefore you art. And looky, I brought you a snacky wacky. Charles, feeding you is like taking a really smelly bath.
Pinky, I need you.
Farfig Newton, I didn't know you could talk.
Pinky, stop this foolishness.
You know, Farfig Newton, you sound a little like Brain. Oh, and you bop like Brain too. Brain, we were just talking about you.
I knew I'd find you out here wasting time with this horse. Come.
But Farfig Newton and I have pledged our hearts to each other.
Pinky, that is a horse. You are a mouse.
Oh, Brain, don't be so intolerant. Why can't the horses and the mice live together in harmony, along with the fairies and the wood sprites and the bean sprouts?
I stand corrected, Pinky. That is a horse. You are an imbecile.
Thank you.
Now come. We must prepare for tonight.
Why? What are we going to do tonight?
Guess.
Try to take over the world?
Bingo.
Egad, I love bingo! No. It's so much more fun than trying to take over...